first one is, I just want to throw out that it's really cool to know that you can put underglaze on top of glaze.
Oh.
And this is just a wonderful, very cool option to know. And see how bright these colors are? I
Mhm.
believe these are all speedball.
Yeah.
You've got your red, got your orange, you've got your yellow. These, I believe, were Amico. So
Mhm.
you've got a kind of a range of different colors. These are from different workshops I've taught, and I've done multiple. These are also from the speedball. So when we apply underglaze on a clay body as either greenware or bisqueware, we follow the directions and they say, you know, load it up generally like 2 to 3 coats, right? Well, in the case of applying the underglaze on top of the glaze, we want to make sure it's a much thinner application because what we're doing is basically like a fake Majolica, and we are depositing the color from the underglaze into the glaze below it. And what
Mhm.
I found is this doesn't work for all glazes. This is why you have to test, see if it works for yours. Um, I do know the glaze recipe I shared. That's this one. This is the vintage white. Works really well. And you see how little it moves. Like the color is staying right where we put it. This is a wonderful way to add some painterly details. And you can use it for the background or you could use it for some detail areas. Another really cool thing, and I am going to demonstrate this, you can kind of scratch into it to add details. So that's how I did all this writing. Can
Mhm.
you read that? Red, orange. That is me scratching through where I painted to the white glaze underneath. And it just shows how little it moved. So that's where we're going to start. We're going to shift now, and I'm going to dip my first pot in a glaze. So here we go. We're going to pour in that glaze. I'm going to rotate pouring it out. I'm going to go in, and then I like to shake, shake, shake. So I'm getting my drip over here, and then I'm going to rotate that drip so it goes on the inside. So I always get questions about like, well, what is too thick? And what I've found is, generally speaking, you'll find out what too thick is because you can feel it's like a rough texture. It's like a underglaze that didn't get enough flux. So I like to get my sponge wet and I use the lid. You can see the lid's right here. And then let's get it right here. You can see it's more of a thin application. And this is not time to be fussy. Once this gets applied, this is going to stay where it is because it's on top of glaze. But it's going to look a lot like that. There is such thing as too thin, and there is too thick. So then you have to find what is just right. Too thin means it just doesn't have that potency, and it can kind of disappear a little bit. And then too thick would be where something gets really kind of has a texture and it's a little bit of a roughness on top of the glaze surface. This is not changing the glaze underneath it, like if you were to overlap uh, a, a different glaze, because when you put one glaze on top of another, you get a new glaze, right? You get that chemical reaction of those two glazes coming together. But in this case, what you're doing is you're just depositing colorant on top of this glaze. And so it's going to have kind of the same quality of the glaze that you're applying it to. So if this was a glossy white, then this would show up as a glossy design.